I spent a pretty fair amount of time just kind of reflecting on designing my life and what I want. This has been a reflection that I've been having a lot more lately. I think it's a really valuable reflection. It's not just about crafting a kind of better day-to-day for yourself that you enjoy, but also that in turn, I think helps fuel your ambitions. Because if you create a day-to-day where you can thrive, that means that you can work much more efficiently toward any kind of goals that you might have. And so I think these two things are very complementary. At least they have been in my experience. If my internal systems, my kind of like internal core, if you will, has a really strong foundation, the work that I then do toward my ambitions and whatever kind of becomes like clockwork. And I don't think you necessarily have to live the most perfect life, but I think designing day-to-day that you enjoy in turn leads to kind of you being able to work on great things. And part of the day-to-day that I want is in large ambitions. Like, I really want that. I think that I enjoy the journey, I enjoy the process, and very much I enjoy building things, building big things. And I want to keep going very aggressively. So I was kind of thinking a lot about things. One of the active considerations at the moment is I want to go out more in London. What I mean by that is like go out more, meet people more, meet for drinks, for dinners, for lunches, for meetings, whatever it is, and just meet more people. That is one of the big reasons why I wanted to move here in the first place. And so thinking a little bit about how I want to do that, also budgeting a little bit of a higher salary for myself. So I have been shifting toward this model of kind of allocating a budget, a salary basically for myself, because this means that I can calculate my burn rate with a lot more kind of predictability. I can calculate how much I need for however many months. And I think that's a very useful thing. But I think a lot of people who run small businesses want to live off the profits of that business. And you can do that. But I think it is more useful to fundamentally ask, like to compartmentalize a little bit, at least like what's baseline yours. If you have some outstanding profits, you can take that back and go home with it, because at the end of the day, it's your company. And that very much is the case for me. And I've done that before. I just take profits and just do whatever I want with them, where I take a nice trip or something like that. But I prefer not to put that in my payroll because I want to invest in a lot of things. But this gives me a more solid foundation of like, okay, like I keep my life comfortable to an extent that I want, and then I can invest very aggressively in opportunities to grow the company. And I'm more enthusiastic about those than investing in kind of like luxury things for myself. I'm more interested in splurging on the company than on myself. For me, it's just, I think it brings more joy and stuff like that. It's kind of a lot of thinking around these things. The day was pretty nice. Like I didn't manage to do loads of work, but I did manage to do a little bit, caught up with a client, colleague kind of thing where I tried to sort something out. Didn't really work out. We'll be looking at that tomorrow again. Also, I changed the way I set up my phone, and I have this little habit tracker, and it's very, very simple. And I just have 4 daily actions, and then it's like gratitude, reflections. This is something that I lost this habit a while ago, and it brought immense value to my life after I just did it for like 3 to 6 months. And it's something that I want to get back. I don't think you have to do all the kind of habits, whatever. Like there's loads of great habits to do. I just think you should like just do the stuff that works for you. For me, that was something that brought a lot of value into my life. And so I want to bring that back. But like I want to bring it not out of people say it's good or something. It's like I tried, I did it, and I loved it. I lost it, now I want it back. And so that's why it's there. The second thing is just like sweat. So like 20, 30 minutes, do some kind of exercise. That's the only like KPI for metric for success. It doesn't have to be lifting session, doesn't have to be an hour, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I just have to break a sweat, basically. If I go paintballing with friends, that counts. If I go swimming, 20 minutes, that counts. So like just set the bar low so that you can achieve it on a daily basis. That's been a big theme for the most successful habits I've done, including this recording one. And so, yeah. And I often find that, especially when I do like weightlifting stuff, like I'll do 20 minutes and then I'm really enjoying it. And so I'll do an hour or whatever it is, which like I enjoy going to the gym. So that's relatively easier for me. Then, so there's that, a gratitude piece. Also among that, gratitude and learning. Basically, there's something new that I found out on that day. I'm yet to see if this is a useful habit or not. I suppose that one's a bit more of a test, but it was small enough that I was like, I can include it. And yeah, so those two, some kind of reflection of like 3 things that I enjoyed in a particular day. Some kind of exercise, movement, sweat, break sweat, and like at least 1 hour of focused work on one specific task. This singular task thing, I think, is an important theme here, because it is not an hour of work. Like I can do an hour of work easily, but it's often like not super productive work. It's like work where you're like kind of replying to emails, kind of checking these things, organizing. And I find that stuff very easy. It doesn't cost you much energy. And the reason I do 1 hour and not 2 or 3 or 4, which is really kind of what I do on most days, most normal days of work and stuff like that. Like I'm obviously focused for more than an hour. You don't build a business by just doing an hour hour of work a day. But I set the bar low to make it easier for me to hit that on a daily basis. And I think that consistency is more important than the perfection of doing 4 hours or 6 or whatever it is of like proper focus work. Pick one task, do it for at least an hour, like one singular task. With this habit, I think I've previously implemented and it was pretty useful. And so I'm bringing that. And that's generally how I work as well. And then recording. And so these 4 things. And it fits perfectly into a widget. I've got 4 little circles and I can tap them. The app I use, I think, is called Awesome Habits or something. It's like pretty simple. You get 3 habits for free. If you want more than that, you pay like $12 a year. So I'm paying $12 a year. I don't care. I think those for me are a foundation of like a good life that I enjoy. And I'm excited to just stick to that and build a day-to-day that I'm really, really enjoying and just having fun and doing stuff and building the company up and like scaling the hell out of it. I'm really excited about building something big, and it's not so much about me, but also very much about the people that have come to be involved in it and like how I can create the lives that they want. I think that is something that is immensely exciting to me. Like in running a company, you have this ability to shape somebody's life. And what I mean by that is like your working life shapes maybe the majority of your lifetime as a human. You spend most of your time working, right? After, maybe you go to college, whatever you study, but like 60, 70 years of your life are typically spent working. And so like as an employer, you get to shape that experience for somebody. They may not work all of their working years with you. That's fine. That's granted. You have a huge influence over their working life, which is a big part of their day-to-day and like their compensation and all of this. And you basically have the ability to like profoundly transform somebody's life, positive or negative. Yeah, like basically the ability to kind of ask somebody, hey, what are your dreams? And how can I make those come true? I think that is something that's really, really cool. And a prospect that I find very exciting and one of the things that I want to like build with this company as well is like kind of, a place that's really awesome to work and builds great stuff. And overall, anyway, just very excited about continuing to build things. And I want to build great things for kind of companies all over the world. And yeah. But these are kind of wishy-washy ambitions. I know that I can get very caught up on this stuff, but the reality is like tomorrow's Monday and you just gotta wake up and show up and just take the action, take the step, and then on Tuesday do the same thing, and Wednesday do the same thing, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then for the rest of the weeks of the year, just keep showing up. The complicated part is just the consistency for a very, very long time and being okay with things taking a while. I know that I get impatient sometimes, like, seriously impatient. And but I know for a fact, like, we need to figure out certain things and I got to spend time thinking about them and taking action. But I also got to sit down and make some more time to think of video ideas. One of the advantages of this is that I get to test ideas very quickly. One of the disadvantages is that I need a lot of ideas to test. And so, drop comments and questions if you have any, because I take ideas from those. So I have to sit down and think of a couple more. If you have any, if you've watched this far, definitely drop them. But that was pretty much my Sunday. Nothing special, but pretty good day.